Hey everybody, welcome to the Shadowmain Show. I'm your host, Jason Campbell. At shadowmain.com, we publish articles, interviews, reviews, news, everything about gaming. You can find all the details there, but we highlight every week's articles Wednesday at this YouTube channel. We include critique, commentary, everything, and comments from our community. Our community, where we discuss these topics ahead of time, in our Discord server, our email, private newsletter. We discuss it on social media. If you want to join the community, follow us at Shadowmain on any of the social medias, or send me an email, shadowmainrpg@gmail.com, and we'll get you connected with our private email list or our Discord, whatever you prefer. You could jump into the discussions and we might use your quote in the next episode. Let's talk about our topic for today. We focus on one topic so we can give you a short show that you'll enjoy and then get on with your life, right? Okay, today's topic. What's your favorite death mechanic for a TTRPG? So is it just death at 0 hit points? Do you like death saves? Unconscious until you're helped? Or does the PC exit the story? Maybe they disappear, they died, they left the narrative, or maybe it's something else, something completely unspecified. What if your character dies but becomes a ghost, still interacting with the story? Is that cool? Or would you rather just make a new character? We discussed this in our community. Let's see what other people have to say. Our first quote comes from Crazy Weasel Gaming, who said, I once heard someone discuss the idea of the heroic death, letting the player narrate the death of their character and how their sacrifice saved the other PCs. I can see a little bit of this in the latest Daggerheart system. We get a little bit of this. That's a pretty cool mechanic, I think. If you're into the narrative games, maybe not so much if you're into heavy tactics, that kind of thing. This would be pretty cool, though. So let's go to our next quote. We hear from Keybounce, who says, I think it should both be dependent on what the player wants and on the flavor of the world. Check this out. Would Star Wars have been as good if Ben was not just this useless ghost after he died? Yeah, maybe he was kind of useless. So this is a flexible approach, right? Where maybe you talk it over with your group in session 0 or before. You find out how they feel about death, and you see how it goes. See if they're comfortable with that kind of thing. Our next quote comes from Wes from the DM Tales blog and YouTube channel, which you should all be subscribed to. This comes from Dragonbane's rally feature. The player gets to act while they make the death saves, and it's even more jeopardy while doing so because every attack which hits is an automatic failure. Never played Dragonbane, so I'm glad Wes brought this to our attention. That sounds cool that you're in more dire jeopardy as you hopefully save your life, right? Let's move this to another quote. The Merlotron from our channel says, I like Grit's choice between going out in a blaze of glory, say you have one last action, with an automatic max success. We see this in some other modern games, I think. Or you get a second chance where you're not dying, but you come back with permanently nerfed HP. That's some interesting kind of things that we're talking about here. I like all these opinions. I noticed while I was reading Pirate Borg recently, I loved the option to return as a ghost. It's an optional rule. It's up to the GM. And, you all know I'm a permanent GM for life. This may not work with some of your players, so it's definitely something you want to discuss ahead of time. I haven't run Pirate Borg yet, so I'm not sure how it would work with my players. I think the key in dangerous games is that if your character returns in spirit form, it should come at a cost. It's not just you get to keep playing your character, but he's invisible, right? We always look for that kind of thing. consequences, right? In a heroic fantasy game, it might play like a convenient way to lose your character. I've run postmodern games, right? Such as like Kids on Bikes 2, where death just isn't a result in the game. You just narrate the story forward. This is true in my friend Dave at Grimwood Games, his Mass Pause game as well. The story could go on without your character, but it's not really about whether you die or not. A lot of these games fit non-deadly combat, as Keybounce has suggested. What do you know? What do you think? Let us know in the comments, you know? All right, let's move on to some news of the week. I am just blown away by the amount of way cool Kickstarter backer kit campaigns just launched in the last couple of days. Over on Kickstarter, we've got Limithron, folks from Pirate Borg, who have a fantastic map set and how to run ship-to-ship combat in a 5e game. If you're not familiar with Pirate Borg, but you're kind of glued to Pathfinder or 5e, this is something you probably want to check out. Check out the Adventurers log from Orange Cat Games, the folks that give us the page convention every year. Fantastic convention. Check out this log. It's really cool. Then we move to Backer Kit, where Dungeons and Daddies, one of my favorite actual plays, just a great comedy show, is launching their own source book. We'll talk about actual plays because I know some of you are on the hate it side, some of you are on the love it side. We'll talk about actual plays later on, some other episode. So check in with us about what you think about that. And we have the Brindleverse triptychs. You guys know I'm a big fan of Jason Cordova at the Gauntlet, all the Brindlewood Bay, and all the games that come after that, the Between, Public Access, all those games. Brindleverse Triptychs is 3 separate individual games that you're going to love that all use the carved from Brindlewood format. So this has been a really big week. Email us again at shadowmainrpg@gmail.com. You can let us know what you think. You can find us on all the socials, probably not on X. I ain't hanging out there very much, but send me an email. Let me know what you think. If you want to join our Discord, we'll hook you up there. If you just want to be on our private email list, we'll get that going for you. And we'll see you next week with a new topic.